Hello, my sweet crafty friends. It is day 5 of the 25-day gift tag challenge. Today, we're going to be using a wood nutcracker cutout that is headed to the shop. So stay tuned. He will be there shortly. Anyway, we used some recycled cardboard that we cut down to be the shape of a tag. Coated it with a nice big coat of Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color of drop cloth, and then stamped it using this darling stamp from Amazon. Now, once I did that, I am going to then use this paint. I will have to look it up if anybody needs to know the name. I am drawing a blank. This is a wonderful gold paint that I found at Hobby Lobby some time ago. I don't know if it's still available, but we just did some stripes on there. Once it was dry, I went ahead and did the stamp right over the top of all of it. And now I'm using some of that white wax from Home Decor. Once that was completely dried, I'm going back over it with that gold paint because I wanted it to be very muted and I wanted it to show up differently than it did on the white. That is why I did that, you guys. Anyway, once it was done and completely dry, now I'm putting on some clear wax over the top of that just to kind of seal it all in. My friend Carol over at Schwinky Vintage by Carol told me this amazing trick that if you use a clear coat of wax before you use the dark wax, you have a lot more control, and I have definitely found that. I did the same thing on the back, and as you can see, I used a lot less of that white wax over the top of that. So just a cute little tip. Not cute, fun. Anyway, once that was dry, we're going to use the Dixie Belle Best Dang Wax in the color of black and go around the edges all the way around the front and the back. And whoops, I started applying that wax before I forgot to sand the edges. So we're going to sand the edges first, all the way around, again on the front and the back, just to take that harshness look off. Now we're going to apply the wax. I just love that the look of wax and what it gives to your pieces just gives it so much more depth and definition, and just kind of highlights it, makes it look a little bit more old and vintagey, worn looking. Anyway, I just think it looks fantastic, especially on this back where it's just going to be the words. All right, now we're going to paint our little nutcracker with some Dixie Belle paint in the color of coffee bean. Now it's not quite black and it's not quite brown, and it's just the perfect color. I'm using a sponge on this because with the holes we'll get a lot of clogged up paint in there. I'm just taking my gator tool, going around the edges, just kind of roughing up the edges to kind of make it worn again. Now, I did apply a string up there using some muslin fabric for the tag holder, and we used an extra piece of it to stamp Joy to the World right there on the side. I think it looks amazing. Added a few buttons and a ribbon to the top. Thanks for watching, friends. I hope you enjoyed it and were inspired to make one yourself. I can't wait to see what you make. If you love it, give it a little sprinkle for me, friends. Thanks for watching. Love you.